5, 4.
Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Listen to the other podcasts we have like Miguel and Holly Full Show, Queen City Confessions, or if you missed the Shoot Your Shot from today, oh my gosh, the emotions were all over the place.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah, so you've got to take a look and listen to Miguel and Holly's Shoot Your Shot podcast on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And Kelbin, you released your first Sunday episode yesterday. How did it go?
It was pretty good. I had it ready to go, and then apparently I think it's scheduled into the wrong Full Show podcast, and that's why I wasn't up at 12. But it was around 3:30.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you were recording it after we did our podcast Friday.
Yes.
And it was just you talking with yourself.
Yes.
How did that go? Because I looked at the time and it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was about 36-ish minutes. I don't know. That was my first time. I'm not going to be super hard on myself. I'm not a podcaster. I do radio. So it's different. It's long form. I think if anything I learned from the experience, maybe be a little bit more organized because I had an outline. But the thing is, I like to ramble and I like to yap and I like to go off of the script that I had. And I always want to make sure I'm getting all the bits and details in between, but also make sure to confirm with people that I'm not a professional expert. So I don't know. It was a mixture of a lot of things. I think I would prefer doing it with someone else rather than solo.
Okay.
Well, now you know.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited
I have to listen
to
to it. Yeah, I haven't had a chance yet, so that's going to be good.
Yeah, poor Kelvin. I went on a walk. Normally, I don't do walks on Sundays, but I was so productive yesterday that I was like, oh, you know what? This is perfect. I'll go on my walk. I'll listen to Kelvin's podcast. And then I went to look for it, and I was like, hey, girl, your podcast isn't there.
No,
Sorry.
I'm glad. I had no idea. I scheduled it. I scheduled it Friday, but apparently did not go up.
Well, I'll listen to it this week. Holly,
Right.
Do you have any clue the countdown's on for you, girl?
I told you, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know.
TikTok.
We'll see.
TikTok. Running out.
Well, Kelvin, you did tease on the show today that you wanted to share a story from, I guess, a wild night or a chaotic something this weekend.
Oh my God, this weekend.
What happened?
Wait, but before we move on, Holly, why don't you talk about what you've been doing healthy-wise, nutrition-wise? I mean, I felt like I could give advice to majority of men. I mean, I'm sure some women could get bits and pieces of what I got, but I feel like for a woman, it's so different, and you've been so successful. I feel like that'd be
but I
pretty
also
helpful.
feel like I can't do that because I paid for that program. And if I just give it out for free,
That makes sense.
that's taking it away from the guy that actually created the program.
That's true.
Like I can't come on here and be like, here's exactly what I'm doing. Cause he'll be like, copyright.
fuck? Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know you were on a program. I thought you were doing it on your own. Okay.
No. So I bought this program because I did not know what to do in 2020. So I know this guy from previously. I had known him for like 10 years. I was friends with their families and stuff. And he owns a gym and he's written books and he has this program and it may be different now. I don't even know where he's at on his, cause I'm in like his fitness group on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, so I paid $1,500 for this program.
Oh.
So then
But
what?
you're killing it.
Thank you. I hit my goal weight, so I was really excited.
Yes.
Back up. Don't worry. It's going to go back down. It's fine. But when people, because we had somebody and I don't remember her name off the top of my head. I would look in my DMs, but somebody was like, I asked Kelbin this too. Can you give me tips? And I was like, it's kind of hard to give tips. I was like, here are the main tenets. And then if you have questions, then I can help answer those particular questions. But yeah, I'm fully following someone else's plan. So I yes, but not also no.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Sorry.
Back to square one. So
Don't mind me. I'm white balancing my camera.
this
All right, go ahead.
weekend was great. It was a very last minute idea. My husband, Oscar, he had a flight out from the West Coast. So he was coming in at 9 p.m. on Friday. And I said, whatever, we'll just chill, not do anything this weekend. And then all of a sudden he was able to get a 3 p.m. flight to come into Charlotte. So he was like, do you still want to go to Virginia, Roanoke to go visit our best friends, Shay and Alex? And I thought, yeah, sure. Why not? I don't have anything else to do. Like, let's go. Let's do it.
I remember thinking on Friday when you said this plan, I was like, y'all driving late.
Yeah.
Was it late?
Yeah. We didn't leave until 4 p.m.
Mm.
And it wasn't that bad. It
Okay.
really wasn't. We just packed a bag for the weekend, maybe a day. We were going to leave Sunday morning anyway. So it wasn't like a full 2 days. So we arrived. We had a really great weekend, except one of the nights. But I'll kind of paint the picture. The first day we got to meet our friend Alex's medical student friends, which is really interesting. As per usual, I was gonna say me and Oscar are, but it's mostly me. I'm the one who has like the loud rambunctious stories, and I'm being crazy while they're like, we just got matched. We're so excited. Like they were just really, really, really calm people. But they were sweet. They were nice. And it was just nice seeing our friends host for the first time, because it's usually us hosting. And this was a time where they're serving everyone and they're making dinner. And it was lovely. It was great. The second day, we decided to have, a little powwow around the city. We got to go to an arcade. We got to have breakfast and lunch at these really nice places. We had shitty service at this dinner spot, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't a big deal. We decided in the middle of dinner, or at least right before dinner, to take an adult gummy bear.
Oh.
Now, when we went to this place,
no.
Wait, you said you decided in the middle of dinner to take this?
Right before dinner.
What can I just ask a qualifying question?
Go ahead. Any question you have.
What was the milligrammage of this gummy bear?
25.
Oh,
is that a lot?
Each?
Yes!
Is that a lot?
Yes.
Okay, I used to take like 20 and I was fine.
Oh my
no.
gosh. Like 10.
An average is 10.
Yeah, like 10. And then for like newbies, I'd say like
5.
2 or 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5, 2, because
Yeah.
I used to only be able to have a nibble on the 10, because if I had like a full half, I started getting a little woohoo. If I ever had a whole 10, I would be like, I don't trust anybody. Leave me. You have the devil's face. Get out of here. So yeah.
You each took 25 milligrams of this gummy?
25. I had no idea. You have to understand, I don't often do edibles. I really don't. It's really rare for me to want to go and do it. And if I am, I'm going to be home. Like I'm not going to move.
Right.
Yeah, I would not go anyplace.
No, not in public. The 2 times I've done it in public, I was like, this, I can't. Like even like the drinks that they serve here in North Carolina, because a lot of bars or like the little wine shops we have here, they have the THC drinks that are legal here, and my friends have been switching over to those instead of wine or alcohol, and I'm like, I just feel like I wouldn't be able to be social. Like I would just shut down and want to go home and go to sleep or eat.
Yeah.
You really have to like get into a groove with it and understand your body.
Wait. I'm sorry.
What?
Jenny said I take 25 to 40 milligrams every morning, and then one later if needed. Girl, how are you alive?
That's wild.
25 to 40?
It depends. Sometimes they're mixed in with CBD. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a low dose.
Right.
I have these fun ones that are like the daily chews or whatever, and it's 25 milligrams of CBD and only 2 of THC. So I could do that on a weekday, and it just is very chill. But 40, oh god, no. Well, now like my fiance does a lot. He's got his card. So like he does, and he only does it at night though. He can't do it during the day because he's like, I don't need it during the daytime, but he will sometimes take it a little too early. Like sometimes we're gonna getting ready for dinner, and I'm like, did you take your nighttime pills? And he's like, I mean, yeah. And then he's real giggly during dinner. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it's the worst because Abe and I take them. I take it every night to help me go to sleep. And
what's the milligram?
10.
Okay.
I do 10. I don't want to go over 10. Like if I feel like it's not working, I'll skip a few days and be like, all right, well, let's sort of reset the system because I don't want to go over that. But then like sometimes my mom or his parents will call.
Oh yeah, you can't take a phone call.
Him and I are both like, all right, we're going to do it together. We're going to put it on speakerphone and we're just going to tag team this and see how we can get through. And then sometimes Mom will be like, Are y'all okay? Y'all sound like just very
Silly,
relaxed.
different. Yeah. Oh.
Well, okay, so how did this go taking 25 before going out?
I don't know. I remember going to Crown Town Cannabis, right? Like a spot here that's well known in Charlotte. And I think their gummies are 40. You just cut it in half. And I've done that. And they were good. I don't do them often, like I said. So we take them immediately. The reason why we bought them was because there was a 10, a 15, and a 25 option. And my friend Shay was like, let's just do the big one. And I was like, all right, that's great. We're rarely ever together anymore. So why not? Sure. I've done 20 before. I could probably handle 25. Let's do it. We all take it in the car. Of course, I'm the one that's like, should we take half? And they were like, no, let's take the whole thing. We take it, and it is the most disgusting tasting, grainy edible that has ever been made. It was so gross. Boo. You swallow it, and you can still feel it in your throat.
Oh,
the graininess.
That's awful.
So
that
disgusting.
Awful.
So whatever, we head on over to this Peruvian restaurant. I personally don't think that we were loud, but maybe we were. I don't remember. And so we get serviced. And in the middle of dinner, we're having a good time. We're cracking up. We're making jokes. We're ready to go back home. Apparently, everybody started feeling things differently at different amount of times. I was pretty good throughout the car ride. And our driver, Shay, was totally fine. But he said that, our friend Alex was getting him anxious because he was like, can you drive? And he was like, yes, I'm fine. Like, everything is good. It wasn't until we arrived back to their place where this dog is just hanging around in the front yard of the area. It's a cottage, so they were in the back part of the house, and that's where they live in the cottage. So the dog was kind of roaming in his backyard, and we see that dog approach us very aggressively, and thankfully the owners were already there. So he was like, "Oh, like Bailey, chill, it's fine." And so we go into the house. I start feeling it. My left side of my chest, just I'm not feeling well. And then I hear one of the boys be like, yeah, man, the dog I feel like kind of got us anxious, right? And we were like, yeah. We all sit on the couch, and Ariana Grande had just come out with this brand new music video.
Oh, I hope you didn't watch that right then.
Girl, yes, we did.
Oh, no.
Because I really wanted to.
No, not now, not then. I haven't watched it yet. I've only seen clips and stuff, and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm going to need to sit down with this at some point.
Immediately, we're watching it. It's pretty slow. We don't know what it's about. Oscar and our friend Alex are nonstop talking, and me and Cher looking at each other like, shut the fuck up. Like, because they kept asking, like, is that Ariana Grande? What is this about? What is this movie about? And immediately at one point I was like, I don't know. I've never seen it before. And it was funny. It was all funny at this point. Then the music video starts, and that's it. Like, I start with my shakes, but I'm very quiet. I've been here before, so I'm like, whatever. But it's starting to get worse. I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping quiet. Oscar is in the corner, and he's pretty calm. He's the one that's like, yeah, it doesn't feel too good, but, we just got to keep going. And he's being positive. And I'm like, okay, I really like that he's okay.
Yeah.
But then her friend Shay starts pacing.
Oh.
And for those who don't know, Shay has a heart condition where he takes medication. And he's pacing, and he's like, is everyone feeling the same thing? Are we all on the same page?
Oh, my gosh.
It's like one of those mid-2010s comedies.
It's just not going well. He's pacing. Alex is right next to me, and I don't know. I don't want to look at anybody. If I see somebody else shaking, then it'll get me nervous. So I'm just watching this music video. When I've been here before with these, maybe the edible just goes too hard. Music really, really makes my chest like go faster. I don't know if it's my heart. I don't know if it's my chest. I don't know what's happening, but the music is not helping. It's going at the rhythm of the music.
Oh my God.
I don't know what happens at one point. I think Oscar gets up, he comes and makes sure that Shay's okay. Shay ends up going upstairs, and he's pacing. And at one point, Jimbo starts like whining a little bit because he sees that we're not doing so well. So I get Jimbo, I start petting Jimbo, and I immediately feel better, which was great. But I can see Jimbo pointing, like not pointing, but he was looking up because he was signaling Shay. So then Oscar goes upstairs, calms down Shay, which is great. And then I see I wasn't gonna say names, but eventually we all go downstairs. We're starting to calm down. Eventually, one of us gets up and immediately goes, "Oh no!" and projectile vomits
Oh my god.
all the way straight to the bathroom.
Oh no!
And at that point, I was good. I was good.
Good?
I was good, as in, like, I don't have any chest pain anymore. What can I do to help?
Oh
my God, this
no!
Fucking
It looked like
nightmare.
the exorcism. It looked like the exorcism in the bathroom. And thankfully, I'm not too crazy. I'm not really sensitive to smells. And I know a lot of people are about that stuff. I'm not. I didn't help clean, though. I couldn't. I
No.
couldn't do that. That's
I
a
feel
one
like
thing.
only the partner of the person who did it can help clean up something like that. Like, because Abe's had a situation like that where he just out of nowhere
I
projectile.
remember. It was so random.
It was like we weren't drunk, we weren't had edible. It was just out of nowhere he did it. And I just remember he was so shocked that I was like, I kind of feel like this is what a parent is, where I just didn't even think about the throw up. I was just like, stand there, let me get towels. And I just,
yes.
and then,
There's no option. You
Right.
just act.
because I know that like I can't just be like, oh, that's so gross. So I just was like, stand there, let me do it. And then after the fact, I was like, I just cleaned up your puke.
That is the sickness part of the sickness and health of what I'm talking about.
It is.
In
But
the wedding vows.
you do it and then you don't. And then afterwards, I was like, I can't believe I did that without like making a big deal about it, without gagging. I just did it. So
yeah, you
Yeah.
just do it.
Oscar and I looked at each other and we were like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening?
Y'all were in some
It's
kind
just
of buddy
getting-
comedy.
It's
like,
just getting worse
Jesus.
and worse. Like, more than anything, I was more worried about Shay. I mean, he's the one who truly has the heart condition. The vomit, whatever, it happens.
right.
I was worried about how. Here's the thing, too. Right before this weekend, I did a leg exercise, just one. And I was sore throughout the whole weekend. So imagine being on a Delta 9 edible and your legs are sore and chaos is just happening all over this apartment.
It's just too
I
much.
could barely move. And then at one point I was feeling paranoid because I was like, I'm not helping them enough. And they helped us for our wedding. Oscar, we need to do something. And Oscar's like, I can't move.
Oh.
So it was just all over the place.
That's a hot mess.
It was such a hot mess. It totally.
I do want to say, Jenny said, is it legal in the Carolinas? My son told me no. Not the THC one like it is in Florida medically.
No. Right.
It's the, what is it?
Delta?
The Delta, yeah.
Like they've gotten around it with.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, sometimes even stronger. I don't have a red MAGA hat, but I will put it on and be like, make those not legal. Make those not legal. They should not be legal.
I was
God.
like, I don't know. Some of these Delta, I don't want to ever do the Delta 9 that y'all have.
But see, that's what I do the
stick with mine.
Delta every night, and like I'm fine. Like, and when I have taken one from Florida, the THC ones, now that I've been in the Carolinas for 3 years and I'm used to that, the THC ones, I'm like, ooh.
Right. Right.
That's a whole different
I will
thing.
never buy from a random dispensary ever again with a random brand.
No.
You know, the branding looked good. It looked like a standard edible box, but never again. I will stick to the ones that have like corporate offices or
like
have
there's
multiple
some sort
locations.
of oversight office that happens.
That's why I like my Crown Town cannabis.
Yes.
Teresa said, my wife takes 2 10 milligram just before bed. She definitely dozes off pretty fast. I bet she does,
Amazing.
girl. I am curious though, because that's something that as time has gone on, like I was super against any sort of products like this for the longest time. And then I think it was around the pandemic when I wanted to sort of stop drinking wine every night that I sort of ventured into it. And I've changed my mind about it. But we don't talk a whole lot about it on the show just because I feel like people's opinions are changing and it's not as the stigma that used to be on it as it. But if you're watching, I'm curious if you take any of these sort of edibles.
Or if you're, aghast right now listening.
Because I'm just curious. So leave us a comment if you're watching, or if you're listening to this later on to the podcast, text us. Text hits and your thoughts to 96893 just to sort of get a gauge where everyone is.
We think that by the time our kids are grown, it will be like talking about alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, just like
It's getting
here,
there.
right? I mean, just in Charlotte, like I said, so many places now have the beverages on hand or
Right.
different types of things that you can drink outside of alcohol.
Yeah.
So I do feel like it's, like you said, talking about alcohol at this point.
It would. I think in the next, I guess, 10 to 15 years, I think we'll see that. I actually had a CBD beverage when I was at, I want to say it was at Haberdish.
Mm,
And it was so good, and I was just so chill afterwards.
Mhm.
right.
It was really fantastic. And plus, I think there's a lot of people like that might not know a lot about it. It is scary because you don't really know. But once you dive into like understanding,
Mhm.
there is so much information to unpack. It becomes a lot less scary and a lot more, oh, okay, I see this now.
And plus, I just feel like as I'm getting older, like I am starting to see myself like as like I'm a grown man, and me being like drunk, stumbling out of a bar at almost 40 just doesn't sit right with me anymore.
Mm.
And so that's why this feels a little bit more comfortable, because I'm not like, I have my faculties, I can communicate, I have control over my body, and I'm not like a mess.
And you're
Oftentimes it
taking
is
it.
safer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're taking it and you're staying home. You're
Right.
not taking an edible and then going out and driving.
Right.
Are there people out there that do it? Maybe. I'm not sure, but why would you? Like the point
Right.
of the edible is to calm you down, to relax, have a good time. I've had great experiences with edibles,
Mm.
truly, and they haven't always needed to be 20 plus milligrams. I've had
Right.
10, I've had 15, and they're like really calm and chill, and I've had funny memories. The only time I've ever been out and done an edible truly was for Dave and Buster's, and it was like a 5 milligram one, and it was fun. And then it gets out of your system by the time you're out of the arcade.
Right.
So just don't ever do the random ones ever again.
And the one that I will also encourage is don't do any homegrown ones from people, because the one time I did do that years and years ago, it was the most awful experience because I was under the influence for probably 2 full days. And that was not fun.
Oh God, I would just be, that would be so awful to wake up and still feel that way.
It was horrible. And then I was traveling that day too. I was going to Key West. So this happened probably back in 2019, where I had taken one. No, it's probably 2022, I believe. I had taken one that Friday night, and then that Saturday I was going to Key West, and I woke up that Saturday morning and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still in the cut. I'm still in the thick of it. So then I remember like being at the airport and like trying to navigate going through security. I was by myself, and like I couldn't find my boarding pass on my phone, and I was like almost in tears searching for it as people are going by. And then like finding an Uber when I got to Key West, and then I slept all afternoon, and then I woke up and I still was not okay.
Oh my
And
God.
then that night we went out. I didn't even drink that night. Everyone was at the club dancing, and I was just at a table by myself, and I was just like staring
That did not
off.
let go at you. That did not let go.
No. And then Abe was like, I'm gonna walk you back to the hotel. And I was like, I think that would be best. And then I woke up that Sunday and I finally felt better. So don't ever, and that was a home. That's why I've never done someone from someone's house. I was like, I made
I don't
these.
trust.
Nope.
I
Nope.
don't trust
Nope.
any of that.
Nope.
No.
Oh yeah. So, but everything else was good, Kelbin.
Everything else was great. Love having time with them. They're so sweet. We really grateful for the both of them. Truly, they are lifelong friends, even though they piss me off sometimes. But you know what? That's a regular friendship.
That's what friends do.
Exactly. So yeah, that was my weekend. I drove back. That shit sucked. But that's it. We made it back safe, and we're all alive.
And you made it.
Yes.
Holly, how was your weekend?
Good. I just thought about something that I wanted to share. It just popped into my brain. If you find yourself too crazy, this would need to be planned out in advance. But if you take more CBD, if you're too like high, or if you're too whatever on a THC situation, if you have more CBD, because CBD and THC are meant to work together. That's why the stuff with CBD is so good all around, because there's like receptors and stuff that they fill those spots. So if you get to that point and you consume more CBD, it can kind of help balance you out. I read that somewhere. But anyway, so just take that with a grain of salt. Weekend. What did we do? Oh God, I don't even remember. All right, Friday I had a mom's dinner, which was great. Nobody took any pictures where anybody was missing or anything like this time. Everything was fine. So we had like a little mom's dinner, which is always nice. And I was out later than I wanted to be because I don't know how to just be like, all right, I'm done with this now, so I'd like to go. Like, I get tired, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Other people they got longer stay. I like to at least spend, if I go out or something to dinner with people, I still want a little bit of time back at my house to sit on the couch before I go to bed. I did not get that because the dinner was at 6. I didn't even leave that bar until like 10 p.m.
Oh.
And so I would have been fine leaving around 8:30, 9 o'clock. But then everyone was like wanting to have one more drink and walk over to the bar, which I don't mind at all doing, except I was tired. And I was like, okay, I can power through another drink. So it better be an espresso martini because like, can I just wake myself up? I don't know if it's just me or if other people, I just don't know how to possibly make an exit because I don't want to seem rude and be like, well, I'm tired.
How many people were there?
In total, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us.
Oh, if there's 8 people, you can fully make an exit. But
some people did leave because like someone was picking them up or whatever. We had a miscommunication, my fiance and I. He dropped me off at the dinner and I knew that he was not going to be able to pick me back up, right? Like speaking of all of the gummies and stuff kicking in. So he dropped me off and I knew he wasn't going to be picking me back up. But I thought some other ladies were leaving because like their spouses were in the car on the way to get them. So I texted my fiance and I was like, hey, how you doing? Like, and he goes, I'm good. I'm just playing some video games. And I was like, oh, good. Maybe you could actually come pick me up in a little bit. And then he didn't say anything. And I was like, hello? And I was like, I don't know. Well, you're taking a minute. So I guess I'll have one more drink. And then he goes, yeah, just have one more drink. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'll just text him when I'm done with the other drink. All this miscommunication, all to say at the end, I'm like, so are you coming or what? He's like, I think you misread.
Oh.
When I said I'm good, I meant I'm good.
Like I'm having a good time by myself.
And I was like, no, I thought you meant I'm good. He's
Right.
like, no, I'm good. I was like, damn it.
No.
So that plan was foiled in the middle of all that. But the night was great. I really like these ladies. And I really am excited that I have this group of women that their kids are all in the class with my daughter. So it's just, we all have this shared experience of, you know, they're all dealing with the same thing. They're all the same age. It's all the girl moms that I know. I know other girl moms in the class, but like somehow this group included me on a text chain one time. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you so much. Because
Thanks for including me.
Because now I feel like I can understand what is going on with the other children. So it was just really good. So it was Friday night. And then Saturday this weekend we had my fiance's daughter and not Maya. So she is like gung-ho about Busch Gardens right now, his daughter. And so we went and I got to ride Iron Gwazi and I loved it. It was such a wild situation because they went to go do Cobra's Curse. And when we get to Busch Gardens, I took a left to go to Iron Gwazi, which was shut down when we got there at 10 a.m. when it opened. And they were like, well, the power's off. Something was going on with it. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and wait then because they're off in a line for something else. I sat there for about an hour and a half, just enjoyed myself. Oh. Scrolled on my phone. And then when they were done with everything and they're like, well, sorry about your ride. Let's meet up at the front. It started going. And I was like, sorry, I've got to run in there. I ran. And I was like on the second train and it was so good. I love roller coasters. And so finally getting to ride that one was great. So that was Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, we're like fixing up his daughter's room at our house. So we're, you know, trying to figure out with her, like, what do you want this to look like now? Like we're changing it. So we're doing all that stuff. It was just kind of like we stayed close to home and did stuff with her this weekend. Like we really fixed up some of her room. We did some running around. Saturday night, we caught up with last week's White Lotus.
I'm not caught up.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, what did you girl about last week or this week? Did you see yesterday's?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to wait. Well, I forgot that because Abe was out of town last week. And so Monday, I usually watch it Monday. I sat down and I was like 10 minutes in when some crazy stuff went down, or you saw some crazy stuff. And I was like, oh, and then I looked over and Abe wasn't there. And I was like, fuck, we're watching this together. Shit. So then I had to stop it. And so I was like, I just wasn't even thinking last week. And so anyway, we watched last week's last night.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like,
Things are
I'm
happening.
behind 2 episodes.
Oh no.
girl, you better to curry up.
I
It is
know.
crazy. We have to talk about
It's a little
this.
bit wild. It's a little yikes. Anyway, so we caught up with that, and then yeah, Sunday was just kind of like just chilling around the house and everything. I did have a meditation last night, which was I don't know why I did that. I kept forgetting I had the meditation. It's like an energy healer that I have gone to for a while now, every now and then. And she does these meditations. She was recently in Egypt and she like went to the pyramids and got all these downloads. I don't know what she does, but she's really cool. So she was doing this like Egyptian new moon meditation. But the problem is we were watching with my fiance's daughter Jumanji and on Sunday afternoon. And I was like, Sunday fun day, whatever. So I had myself a little beverage because I was like, I'm not doing anything today. And then I had another little beverage. And so I had my 2. And then I had totally forgotten until we were getting to the point where he was going to drop her off. And I was like, oh, I have something tonight.
Oh.
So I was like, let's get some dinner. I'll eat. Get some water, we're good. So I really was fine by the time I went to the thing, but it did take a little bit of a toll because it's a dark room. She's doing her things. You're laying on your back, and I fell asleep. Now, it's fine because other people in prior meditations have been like, oh, I fell asleep. Did I missed it? And she's like, no, because your subconscious is still taking in everything that's being said and the energies and everything. So I feel like somewhere in my subconscious, I downloaded all that Egyptian meditation-ness. And so that's just
when you need to pull it out, your body can, just your conscious brain was
when
not
I
there.
get sleepy, maybe I'll remember some of the deeper things. But that was my weekend.
Nice. Friday, Abe got back from being in Buffalo. His dad, my father-in-law, had to have emergency surgery, because they don't know exactly why, but the hypothesis is that he had a liver transplant some years ago, and they were over in Cambodia visiting my brother-in-law, and he had some sort of like blockage in his large intestine. And so when they got back, he had to have emergency surgery. And so Abe flew up there to be with his mom and dad. And they cut out 4 feet of his large intestine, which is wild. And it's just the human body is amazing, because now he's finally back at home in Buffalo, because they had to go to the Cleveland clinic, and they're back home in Buffalo now, and he's doing well. But Abe got home Friday, and I picked him up from the airport, and his parents, as like a thank you gesture for dropping everything and coming up there, they got him first class back to Charlotte from Buffalo.
Lovely.
So you get free drinks when you're on there. And so when I picked Abe up from the airport Friday, he was like, hey, baby, how you doing? I was like, hey, how you doing, baby?
That's hilarious.
So he was feeling very relaxed. And so we got home, and I really wanted to do a walk on Friday because the sun was just so great and it was warm. And I was like, I just want to feel the sun on my skin. So I went on a walk, and in the middle of my walk, he called me, and he was like, I need you home right now. And I was like, are you okay? And he was like, just please come. It was the sweetest, saddest thing. I got home, and he was like, I just want to hold you right now. He was like, being around, watching his dad go through the liver transplant and not having this emergency surgery, and he was like holding himself together for his parents. And I think all of his emotions just let out.
Well, especially if you've been drinking a little bit.
Right. And so I walked in the door and he ran down the stairs, just hugged me, and we just like stood there, and he was just like letting it all out. And I was just like, it's fine. It's fine. He was like, I just being there and thinking through, because they were just in the hospital the whole week, thinking what would that look like. And I was like, it's totally fine. So it was just a really sweet moment where he just cares so deeply for his parents, and just the thought of it, it just, when you face the mortality of your parents and seeing them get older. So we had a very quiet Friday night after that. And then Saturday we went to a friend's dog memorial.
Oh, I'm not laughing at that.
I know. I mean, it was like,
I'm laughing at you going to that.
I know. Well, our friend texted us Friday and he was like, my dog has passed away. I'm doing a memorial on Saturday where former roommates are going to come, and we're going to plant a tree in the backyard in memory of the dog. And then after that, we're inviting people to come over. We're going to do brunch. And you could tell it was a copy and paste message because it was like, all dogs are welcome. And I was like, do we have to go? Because if you're new around these parts, I'm not an animal person.
Right.
I'm not a dog person. And so being in this person's backyard with all these dogs, I was stressed out all day Saturday, like before. And I'm just like,
I'm surprised you even went.
Well, I wanted to support my friend because it was very sweet, and I wanted to, show support. So I went. The dogs were friendly. Thankfully, no dog was fighting. But of course, I tried to like be in a part where the dogs weren't. And then as soon as I sat down, one by
Here
one,
comes the dog.
they come over to
One by
me.
one in a line.
Literally, it was like someone was like, go talk to the black guy in the corner. And so they all showed up, and just one by one, they all just lay their head on my lap. And I'm just like,
Aw.
hey, doggies. So that was fine. And then
Did you have a favorite? Did you bond with one? That's what I care about.
not really.
Okay, got it.
I mean,
That's
okay, I will say they were all sweet dogs. And I think because they were all older dogs, so they were all more chill.
Yeah, you get a
Okay.
puppy in there and things get a little haywire.
Right. So now they did
Overstimulating.
have the one dog that I think was a little dumb because he kept trying to eat the bees. And everyone was like, stop it. And every time one would fly, he'd be like, hi, hi.
Yeah.
And they're like, you about to learn your damn lesson if you don't calm the fuck down. But then I met someone there that was, it wasn't a large party, so I'm going to be very bear with me as I try to tell this story because I don't want to put this person's business out there. But there was someone in that group that was there that I had not met before, and we were just chatting and getting to know each other. And then I was like, oh, they kept referencing that they bought a place with their person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, where's your person? And they're like, well, actually, there's 3 of us. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
So then, like, when someone tells you this, you can't be like, what?
No, you
have to be like,
like it's the one of the most probably trying things when someone tells you some can we be honest, just slightly shocking information,
Right.
and you have to act like this has been old hat for
Right.
years for you. You're
Right.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So liberal.
So
absolutely.
I was like, so can I ask you questions? And they were like, absolutely. We're open book. And I was like, well, clearly.
Oh, that's what she said.
So I was like, all right, so walk me through how this happened. Apparently, they were with their partner for 5 or 6 years. I don't remember the exact details. And they had an open relationship at that point. Then they met someone who they really liked, who basically just kept coming around. And then after some time, they were like, well, why don't you just move in and we'll be a throuple?
I'm sorry. Like what?
I was like,
Wait, was the third person in a sexual relationship with both of them?
yes.
At
the same
Mm.
time. Yes.
The same time.
No,
Yeah.
but individually also.
I think at that point, well, this is where the story gets crazy. So
this is where the story gets crazy.
I know, right, girl? I was eating it up. I was like, girl, I'm gonna fuck about these dogs now. Like, I am in the zone.
Yeah.
So things were like great. They're a throuple, and so then I was like, well, how do each of your parents feel about this? Like, do you present like, so my person? Now here's our other person.
Right.
Some of their parents know. Some of their parents were like, God bless y'all for trying to deal with, 3 personalities. And then one of them just doesn't have any contact with their parents. I was like, all right, cool. So how are y'all now? And this is where the drama has unfolded.
Oh, God.
So apparently over the course of the past couple of years, the person I was talking to and their original partner, they're basically like not together anymore. And the original partner is with the new person. And so the guy I was talking to, he was like, basically, we're just roommates at this point. Like the two of them are gone off together and I'm just here, but we still present as the 3 of us. And I was like, well, how does that make you
wheel?
Right. And I was like, well, how does that make you feel? And they were like, I mean, it sucks, but, and I was like, what?
What's the but? How do you have like?
I just know Miguel's face.
Girl, I was in it.
Did you have like a little cocktail? Did you have a little cocktail?
Yeah.
Yes. Hunching a little bit.
Girl, I was like,
But that really concerned one. Where I wish I had like a straw, like I had pretend straw. It was where you go. Like oh God. Okay, please. What's the butt?
Girl. So the butt is
no. I feel like we're all a bunch of chickens, like with a sewing circle. Okay, what?
So they have about 2 years ago. So they opened up the throuple so they could then the 3 of them hook up with other people.
Why even bother? Okay, go ahead.
So now this person has met someone else who's also in a relationship. And so now they go on a date every week for the past 2 years. And I was like, well, does that person's partner know? And they go, oh, yeah, because they do the same thing.
Are they in a throuple?
No.
It's just the two of them.
It's just open dating.
Like,
I was like,
yeah, that's too much.
Now, by this point, like, we had gotten comfortable with each other and friendly. So I was like, God, this is crazy. He was like, I know, but this is our normal. And I'm like, but this is.
But it's not, though. It's like, why bother being with the other 2 anymore? You are a third wheel.
That part I don't understand.
Well,
the openness, whatever.
Right.
But the still staying there with the other 2 and
like they basically boxed you out.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just still hanging out, roommating it while they're doing it.
Or presenting, as Miguel said, too.
Right.
Presenting.
Right.
Like, why are y'all 3 going out on I picture one of those like slow motion, in like a montage in movies where like 3 people are just walking towards the camera.
Yes.
That's them presenting in that slow-mo manner. But like why?
I don't know. I didn't. At that point, like the party was like people had started to take their dogs and leave, and I had more questions. So he was like, well, if you ever have any more questions, and I'm like, well, I will. So I'm sure.
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, well, this was worth being around all these dogs for all this, girl. This was worth it.
A little tea.
Yeah. So after all that excitement, because I was like, my cup is filled, girl.
Right.
Yep. I feel like you're good for the
show
week.
Topics.
Literally,
You are good for the week.
I was like, when I hear some good tea like that, like my cup is filled. Like
Your love language. I can't.
I was like,
you can't pour from an empty cup, so you're pouring everywhere now. You're just pouring out.
I can't. Chimosa as bitch.
Yes, honey. Oh, so then we had some friends over for some chicken parm, which was fun. Nothing crazy happened, and Sunday was fine. So that was really the highlight of the weekend. So,
wow.
Yeah. So that was that. That was good, girl. That was real good.
Nosy ass bitch. Can't.
There's nothing more I love than getting some good information like that. Oh, that was so good. All right. Well, Kelvin, how can people find you on social media?
At Kelbin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Holly?
Radio Holly on Instagram. I got to do a little bit of a spat on Threads, so I'm just leaving it. I forgot to tell you about that. It's about this whole Chapel Roan thing. I didn't even care that much, and the people that love Chapel Roan, they were not having it. So
you've been attacked on Threads
a little bit. I was like, I'm just gonna leave this be. Thank you, by the way. Doe Eyes did come to my defense, and it really did make me feel better because if anybody's gonna scrap online, it's Doe Eyes.
Girl, like I say, every time I see Doe Eyes in all caps, she's like, "Fuck you!"
Yes, like that picture.
Yes.
Yeah. So I appreciate you, Adrian. So but anyway, and she kind of like, I think I saw some of her because I was trying not to read the replies anymore because it really kind of ruined my day yesterday a little bit. So I saw that she was like coming back at some of the people, and I'm like, well, she's taking care of it. I need to stay off Threads for a little while. So I'm taking a little break from Threads just for a moment until that blows over.
I tell you, Doe Eyes don't play. She came to my defense too on my TikTok that went a little viral with Abe and I are like, the picture of him and I, or him painting my townhouse before we were together, and saying like, little did he know that the person painting his house and you swipe would be his husband. And it's gotten like 66,000 views.
I don't think I've even seen it. Like what?
Yeah, it's on my TikTok.
An algorithm is stupid. Anyway, I'll go.
But 98% of the comments have just been really cute, and then there were some that were really funny, like, "Oh, I bet he painted them walls. Ha ha! Who's painting whose walls?" And it's like, yeah, it's funny.
Okay.
And then someone was like, "Oh, there goes another colonizer getting one of ours," and Doe Eyes went in. And I was like, "Thank you, girl." Because I wasn't even going to acknowledge it. So thank you.
Jesus.
Miguel Fuller, if you want to see my TikTok that went viral. Yeah. All right. We'll see you all on Wednesday. And then on Sunday, Holly's.